Hi there, air signs, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. It's been a while since I've made a video and uploaded it. I have been doing readings all year. I just haven't done them publicly, and I just was feeling that today. So we're going to do a short end of October um, message reading. I'm going to do a collective air sign card reading, and then I will have individual pieces of advice that I'll put together for each of the signs, the air signs. So for your month end message advice. All right. So for the message, interesting. It's very earthy. Um Earth sign energy may be either at play or really important right now, and that energy has to do with practicality and being really grounded, and putting the work in. I see that on the table here I only have 6 cards, but I have 2 3s and 2 8s. So 3s represent kind of a building energy, and 8s represent stability. So there is a build towards stability here that we're looking at. So these kind of things might be on your mind. The message cards I got, and I'm sorry for the glare, it just kind of is what it is today, but the 8 of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the King of Pentacles. Now, this is some pretty heavy authority type energy. The Emperor is the big boss in charge, and we can all have that energy, but it's taking the lead. Um it's a very energetic leadership and authority and decision making and determination and doing it. So, an emperor type energy is either the big boss at the workplace, because I do have the 8 of Coins, which is typically my work card of the tarot. It has to do with putting in the work toward mastery, toward stability, toward like longevity and commitment. And so it's doing the thing you know how to do diligently. So it can just represent work, the workplace. And in this case, you might be dealing with the boss. But if this is just talking about in your own life, things that you're working toward, it's working hard, it's taking leadership quality over your life and over building stability and mastery. Now, the King of Pentacles is also a leadership energy in the realm of growing stability. It's not a frantic energy at all. It's a calm, cool, collected understanding how the pentacle realm works. Like it's understanding you don't spend more than you make. It's understanding that money can work for you. Your material life can work for you, and how to grow that um in a stable way. So again, those 2 leadership cards there in the work realm either indicate that you're dealing with a boss potentially, or working your way up. I really see it more as taking charge of your own stability here. So I like this. I think you can expect energy and options and situations for you to grow in that area. Now, in terms of the advice for Gemini, I got the 3 of Pentacles. This is another pentacle card. So again, we're talking about building. The 3 typically to me represents some kind of collaboration. It's very cornerstone energy. When we have the 3 in this suit, it really talks about laying a foundation. Like you want that cornerstone to be solid. The things that you are working on, you want to have a good start and you want it to be solid. So it's getting something off the ground, it's working with other people. It is a certain amount of collaboration. This does have a full moon in it, so I don't know if there's something around the next full moon that will be important in terms of collaboration, working with other people, to build something, to get something off the ground, to start a new project, that kind of thing. But it's very practical and it does require a certain element of cooperation. So be on the lookout for who who are the cooperative parties, who is willing to work with you. That'll be something really good, because I think that is a really great setup for the future. Libra, the card that came up for you is the 3 of Cups in reverse. Here's the three upright. Usually the three of cups. When it's in the upright, it's a card of, it's a similar type of collaboration, but it's in the cup realm, which is more social, and it's a party. It's getting together with friends. It's celebration. It's joyful. You know, they're clinking their cups in a toast. So with it being in reverse, I don't know if you maybe this is in the advice realm. So I have to say what this card means to me sometimes is gossip, you know. It's the negative aspect of it, the when people come together in a social setting. I would say avoid that. Avoid being around people who are gossipy and bringing other people down and talking in the negative realm. But it also can speak to if you're feeling socially isolated, that you may need to get out more. You may need to, you know, call someone up and be more social. And if in terms of advice, another way to read this card, and only you will know how this best hits you, is in a straightforward way. I don't want to say not to get together with other people, but if you have other pressing issues, the social life may not be where the most stability is for you right now. So, for instance, if you have a choice to work overtime or go to a party, it would be beneficial right now to turn down the party. So again, only you know, this is one of those cards that you can read in several different ways in the context of what I'm seeing across the board on the table. I'm inclined to say this is kind of a larger tug of war over a work life and a social life. And in that sense, given the other ones, it's almost like you should resist immediate gratification right now and focus on stability. So if you don't have enough money to go out, you know, it would be the right time to turn that down. However, I do have to just go back to that one point that if you are feeling kind of isolated socially, you have the power to turn that around. There are people around you who would be happy to hear from you. I just think given what the other cards are, this is much more of a little bit of a tug of war between, you know, work and play. And it's leaning toward like work, like be more practical, focus more on the pentacle rather than the play. At least right now, here at the end of the month. And let's see, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Eight of Cups. Now, this is one of the more interesting cards in this trick or treat deck because I almost think it has like I don't not an opposite meaning of the normal 8 of cups, but usually the 8 of cups card is it's a certain kind of emotional stability where you understand the past. You understand your past relationships. You've done the work to kind of deal with your baggage, you know, why things work the way they were, who you were back then, what you learned from different social and interpersonal interactions, and what you can take moving forward, how that's going to bring you bigger and better emotional fulfillment in the future because you're not carrying around all that stuff from the past. So, as advice, it's saying to try to understand and put that work in to understand your emotional past so that you can go after something better. Now, in this particular card, it's really funny because usually the card shows a man walking away from 8 cups that are empty. He's already examined them, he's already kind of processed those, and he's walking toward the unknown. Here, he's pointing toward this larger emotional fulfillment. So the actual fulfillment is already in the card, meaning you may have something that you know will be more emotionally fulfilling, but you have to kind of silence all those little cups that are still nagging at you. You have to somehow like get okay with the past so that you can achieve something that's going to feel really good to you. So it's again, given what's on the table here, when I take these three pieces of advice together for all the air signs, this is really saying work on your stability. Work to grow something solid. You know, it's not the time to be around negative people. It's not the time to party too much. If you are dealing with anything that is the tug of war between work and play, it's worth it right now. The payoff will be there to put the work in now. Like to take charge of your own life. If you're around negative people, get yourself positive, cooperative people. That's going to be more emotionally satisfying than being around naysayers. And we've all kind of been there. You want to start something, you want to work on something. Certain people are going to tell you it's a waste of time, or why don't you come out and play? That can wait. And this isn't the time for that, really. Now, what I like about all of these cards, outside of the Emperor, which is the take charge of your own life energy, all of these are minor arcana, which means these are just daily life things. Um, but they matter. And here, this really is the whole spread is kind of telling me to resist immediate gratification. You know, think long term, put the work in, because the emotional satisfaction that's available to you, if you put some steady work in toward your stability, there's going to be a much bigger payoff down the road. So I hope that helps. It was kind of a lot, but I hope that helps. Bye.